Hi guys, welcome back to my crafting desk and long time no see. Today is going to be a really fun video. I'm going to share with you how to make this 5-row beaded button loop bracelet. First, you need 58 inches of round leather cording. You need a button. Contrary to what you might think, your button doesn't even have to hold all of the leather, and I'll talk about that as I go along through the video, because this one holds almost all the leather, but you can actually even use just a regular button. I went ahead and threaded on my length of leather cording here, and I've left about 1.5 inches tail. Please forgive me for kind of sounding like the troll under the bridge. I'm just getting over a cold. Now, if you didn't have a button that would fit all of your leather cording, you would just tie a knot and we'll start from there. Now I'm going to take this back up and thread it through my bead. And like I said, if I was using this button, I would just thread that on now. I'm going to bring this down to 7.5 inches. I've got the 7.5 inches laid out here, and the rest of the cording I just have dangling off to the side. For my middle row, I'm going to use some 8mm round beads, 30 inches of beading thread, and secured it onto the left-hand strand. I've gone under. I'm going to feed on one of my 8mm beads. I'm going to go under the right and through the middle. Now I'm going to keep trucking on with this same pattern until I get to the end, and then I'll bring you right back. $19 beads. Then what you want to make sure to do is check your button to make sure it goes through this. Now it can be snug, because once you get to wearing your bracelet, this is going to stretch out a little bit. The story is it should at least fit through. And we are going to give ourselves a fail-safe so that if we need to change it after we get all the rest of our rows on, we still can. So your last bead, you're going to want to go through this 2 or 3 times. Gone through as many, 3 or 4 times. You are going to just leave this, because what that ensures for you is after you get your next row on and you check your bead again, or your button again, if you find, oh my goodness, I should have added one more bead or subtracted a bead, you still can pick this stitch out and remove or add. So the first one I made, I had wished I had put one more bead right here, and I could have had I done that. Now we're going to detach our button here and run this back through our button. If I was using a button that this wouldn't fit through, I would run it back up and just clamp it down. And then after I did my next row of beads, I would start stitching the top together. I really should probably do just a video on that, because it's so hard to, I guess, explain when you're not doing it. So I'm going to go back down, and I know that this is the last pass I can get through this particular button for me. Remember, the length of this doesn't matter because we are able to adjust it as we go along. I've got my 130 inches of beading thread, and you can choose to do any size beads for this outside layer, and you'll do it in exactly the same fashion that you do all of this style of bead bracelets. On my first bracelet here, you can see some bead puckering, and I didn't give myself the ability to change this length as I went along, so that's really nice to do it in this fashion. It saves you a little bit of a headache later. Alright, it's about time to start threading on our 4mm beads, and that was my choice. You can choose to keep on doing the same small beads, or you don't have to change your beads. I just think it looks pretty that way. Beads, I like to go through each bead twice because this end of the bracelet really gets a lot more stress due to it being the closure for the bracelet. I've decided to change this. I'm going to string it through up a little bit higher. That's the thing. If you think it's wrong when you're looking at it, fix it then, because you know, at the end of your bracelet, you won't notice the 999 beads you put on right. You're going to notice that one that you wish you would have strung a different way. So I'm just going to run this back through and move my thread placement up just a little bit. Making our corner here, and you can see there's a lot of excess leather here. So I'm just going to take unclip my button and feed some of that back through. This way it's just so easy to adjust as you go. I'm going to continue on up this row with more of these small gold beads, and we'll time warp you in here after that. Now you can see from my 130 inches I have quite a bit left. You could probably do 110 inches, but keep in mind if you use smaller beads it takes more thread. So it's better safe than sorry, but that's quite a bit left over, so feel free to take off a little bit off that measurement. So for this last one, I'm going to take it through this bead, under, and just give it one additional securing stitch. What I do is I will tie it off right up here. Can you see that one bead? That's funny, I should have just left that bead out. So that's what I was saying earlier. Make sure you get it right while you're going around. Because say if I had noticed it even here, I could have just taken off 4 beads and fixed it. Right, perfect. You know how it is, girls and boys. Okay, so I'm going to tie my additional 130 inches onto here and get trucking with another row of beads. Again, these beads can be any size that you want. It's all about preference. One thing that is kind of nice, I think, on the outside is to use a smaller row of beads. Those tiny hold beads that everybody has and you can't necessarily always use for projects. Our beading is complete. Now what we have to do is figure out what to do with this last little piece. Now, as I said, I already know it's not going to go through my button. I have this nice little knot here that I made at the beginning of the bracelet. I'm going to run that through and cinch it down. Okay, then I'll place a little bit of super glue here, wait for that to completely dry, and then I'll snip these 2 ends. And let me show you the one I did, the first one I did, because I did it the exact same way. Then if you place a clamp on it, clamp it down after your glue's dry. It's going to flatten and just make this nice, fairly unnoticeable. You definitely can't notice it when it's on your bracelet, or on your wrist rather. it's a little bit firm to get it through, but as I said, that stretches out. So there's the bracelet. Oh, I still need to cut that one other tail off. There's the bracelet we made today. For watching, guys. It was a lot of fun to be back again, and I know my lighting and things weren't quite right. This is the first time I've made a video from my new little crafting area. Sticking around for the fun, please feel free to ask any questions and I will do my best to answer them. Also, don't forget to check out my Facebook page. I post a lot of the stuff that I do there, and had you guys not requested this tutorial there, I may not have gotten around to making it. You never know. Okay, a happy new year to everybody, and thank you so much for watching Lacquer and Lace. It's been so long since I've made a video tutorial, I'm just going to get this out of the way. This is the second time I've attempted this video, and I'm kind of suffering a cold, so hopefully we can get this done in view for you guys. Down here that's bugging me because it keeps going sideways. I'm going to take that the piece of securing thread down here and use it to right it the best I can. Sometimes just a little bit of extra thread through there will help just stabilize it. And it's already doing quite a nice job. I think I'm going to go through one more time. Yeah, look at that. Isn't that so much better looking? You can hardly notice that there was an issue there. This button will go through this orifice here. Orifice. Bugger. I can't remember what I was going to say.